So here's number one. Lamar Jackson will outscore Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers combined at season's end, which he is doing right now. How outlandish is that, Heath, that Lamar Jackson will outscore Brady and Rodgers combined?
Well, it is outlandish, extremely. But you know what's more outlandish is averaging 40.8 fantasy points per game. What's more outlandish is that he is a top 5 quarterback if you take away his rushing stats and a top 12 running back if you take away his passing stats. Like what Lamar Jackson is doing is outlandish. And he's the type of talent that could do that over a full season. We've seen him do outlandish things over a full season. There will be some regression from the first few weeks, but I don't want to bet against him.
Sure. He had 25 fantasy points in week 1. Talk about underwhelming.
And then the second part of this is, do you think Brady and Rodgers are going to be starting quarterbacks going forward? Top 12-ish.
Brady, yes.
Not this week, but Brady when he gets Godwin back.
Okay. All right. Number 2, quarterbacks should be higher priorities in future fantasy drafts. Is that an outlandish statement?
No, it's a statement that Chris Towers said this offseason. And right now he looks like he was right.
Why is he right?
Because the Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts and to a lesser extent, Patrick Mahomes, give you such a huge advantage over everybody else. We talked about it last week when they showed the top 5 quarterbacks, and 3 of them were elite guys, and 2 of them were guys we didn't even draft in Carson Wentz and Tua. And nobody wanted to start those guys until week 3. And then they started them in week 3, and they gave them nothing.
They were terrible.
And so, like,
they were not terrible. Tua was not terrible. They were terrible for fantasy. Yes. Wentz is terrible. I got to stick up for Tua. He threw 18 passes.
I'm not discounting Tua. I'm discounting the idea that these low-end quarterbacks that showed up in the top 5 after 2 weeks are actually top 5 quarterbacks.
But it could have. I mean, Tua could do it. I think Wentz is fool's gold. But but I think it's also, Heath, it's that every quarterback from 6 to 12 has been horrible. Or
the point is that the elite quarterbacks are giving you a massive advantage so far.
Yeah.
There's another wrinkle to it, though.
Go on.
If the wrinkle is that there are a lot of players who are underperforming at running back and wide receiver.
Yeah, true.
And so when we talked about this on Sunday, when we drafted, we're drafting players for upside, and that includes a ton of running backs and wide receivers. I don't have to name names. You know who they are because they're probably on your team and you're wondering what the hell's wrong with them. And just the quarterbacks are playing more consistently.
I would just say that as of right now, we look like bigger dopes for letting Josh Allen fall to round 4, Lamar Jackson fall to round 6, Jalen Hurts fall to round 6, than the people who were taking them in round 1 and 2.
Absolutely. What about
it's because of all the underperforming running backs and receivers.
Do you think Justin Herbert is going to enter into this elite discussion? Keenan Allen hopefully back this week.
Yeah, I think he can get close to it. He's in that top 6 for sure.
He can't do what Lamar and Allen and Hurts are doing right now, but he can be in the Mahomes next group.
Right, so he could be as high as 4th.
All right, outlandish statement, next one. These backup running backs will end the season as their team's top running back, as they currently are, Tony Pollard and Khalil Herbert.
Not outlandish at all. Not even a little bit.
It's all. I think it all, and for the Bears is probably dependent on Montgomery's injury.
All right, outlandish statement number 4. Geno Smith is a better fantasy option than Russell Wilson. He is currently better per game by almost 3 full points.
Geno's had 2 20-point games.
Yeah.
And now ridiculous. I don't believe it at all. He's terrible.
The difference between fantasy and reality, for sure. You've got to expect Russ to get it together here.
All right, I'll do one more.
Over under 2.5 top 12 weeks from Geno Smith rest of season.
Over.
I will take the over. I think he can get 3.
I would take the under.
Daryl Patterson is the greatest, youngest 31-year-old running back ever. He is really having a very good year. He is there are
But-
some advanced stats that I don't even know what they mean, like success rate. He is number 1 among running backs, a minimum 20 carries in success rate. He is number 7 in rush EPA, expected points added per carry. He's number 2 in yards before contact per rush. And I went back, I watched a lot of his runs. I mean, he's getting 30 yards on one run without, that's just a ballpark, without it
I
being
can't
touched.
believe
It helps that stat.
you're letting this slide.
What?
Like Giants legend Tiki Barber had a 2,000-yard season as a 31-year-old.
2,000 yard total season. 2,000
Yeah.
total yards.
And you know what
Didn't know
those
he was
guys have in
31.
common?
What?
They both got a late start to breaking out in their careers. It took Tiki a long time to be the main running back in New York. So he was an older back, but he didn't have all the wear and tear that a typical older back has. Same thing with Cordero, who started his NFL career as a wide receiver and then spent a bunch of years just as a kick returner.
Well, what do you think? I mean, should we I just completely dismissed him after week 1. I said sell high immediately, and I felt like a champion in week 2 when he split evenly with Algier and they both stunk. He's not catching passes, but he completely dominated the carries in week 3 in a great matchup. Should we really be selling high on Cornell Patterson or just ride it out?
I want to bring up how many snaps he had because I think he still split a little more than we'd like.
I think
yeah.
I would not sell high if the price is starter, but I agree with Dave. If you get Kamara for him, that's good.
Well, you got to throw in something with him for Kamara. Let's not be ridiculous here. Cordero played 60% of the snaps, technically 59%. 3 of 7 on 3rd and 4th downs. The Falcons were inside the 10 on 1 snap against Seattle and went to Tyler Algier, not to Cordero Patterson. So if you think he's going to keep making these explosive plays, then by all means, start Cordero, enjoy Cordero. Am I saying his name right?
Yes.
Finally.
It's so funny. All right, listen, you said Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a big-time sell high. Who do you like better the rest of the season, Clyde or Patterson?
Patterson.
Patterson.
Okay.